I on the verge of becoming the world's first female alpha werewolf. Find myself lost in them all. It's not just the pressure of my new identity, it's because I've unexpectedly found my destined mate, a human. Chapter 1. This could be my last trip to the mall. I thought to myself as I look around the people sitting in the food court. I envy them just for looking like they have all the time in the world to live and have fun. Well, that was a bit dramatic. It's not that I'm dying or something. It's just that I am going to be the first ever female alpha of the world. And that is a hell lot of frustrating because usually, werewolves think a female wolf is a way to get a pup. To cook for them. Well, yes. We take patriarchy seriously. But I guess not all I like that cause my father is making me the alpha is supporting it. He was the one who suggested it. I should stop my mental ranting about being alpha or werewolf cause let's be on a style of both. And I need to go back before my beta and gamma start looking for me. I thought of taking the last sip of my milkshake. Just as I was about to stand, someone enter the food court, opening the door. That's when I smelled the best smell in the world. It was like a big library here. And without even realizing, I started walking toward it. My wolf flicker starts roaming my head, demanding to go towards our mate. And I did just that. I started looking for him. And my eyes stopped at a group of boys. One in particular. I can't see much of his face as they were at the other end, and one of his friends was making it difficult for me to look at him. I started walking toward him with the utmost agency. Flicker was getting frustrated with my slow pace and said, "Could you please hurry? I want to be with a mate. I know and am trying. Can't you see?" I replied, rolling my eyes at her. "It should be easy, as he would also have felt our presence by now," said Flicker. That got my attention cause mate was not trying to find us. He was oblivious to our presence, but how could that be possible? Unless he was human. I saw people passing in front of me. I was standing there like deer in the spotlight. Flicker pacing in my head, screaming at me, brought me back to reality. And I start looking for a mate, but I couldn't find him, nor I could smell his mouth watering aroma. I lost him. Chapter 2. I was sitting in my office holding my head, receiving a lecture from Flicker. "Course you deserve one. How could you lose mate?" she said, screaming at top of her lungs. Or mine. This day couldn't get any worse. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Hearts that thanks her unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Just as I said those magical words, whole gang, meaning my brother Kyle, my beta J, and my gala Ida into my office. "You gotta say that," said Flicker before shutting me out. "Where were you? What's wrong with you?" asked Kyle. "My brother." Okay, I didn't mean it like a question." "You look like you have lost the whole pack in a bet," said Tyler. "He thinks everyone is just like him. I need to stop their line of questions before." "I don't think that's what happened, Tyler. But sorry, Eddie, he does have a point," said Jay. "Seriously, guys, nothing happened. I'm just tired, that's it. Nothing else," I replied, but that doesn't even sound convincing to me. "Eden A. Crescent Black, tell me what happened now." Carl yelled, giving me a look that means I'm not escaping this one. Well, the full name thing was enough, you don't have to give me that look. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Hearts that thanks her unfailing patience, enthusiasm. "Here goes nothing. I found my mate," I blurted out. "What?" they screamed in unison. I tried giving them my most innocent look. But they knew me better, and didn't fall for the trap. "Who is he?" asked Kyle. "Where is he?" "Jay, is he good looking?" "Tyler, seriously, Tyler." We all said, giving him "you can't be" the serious look. "What? Someone has to ask that," replied Tyler, like it's the most obvious thing to say. "I don't know," I said, keeping my head down. "Which one are you referring to?" asked Kyle. Or could this be more embarrassing? So let's set this straight. "You don't know who your mate is?" Cole said this like I'm some retarded person. Like it's wrong. Flicker said, rolling her eyes at me. "Oh, look who's back. And if I'm retarded, then it means you're retarded too. 'Cause technically we are the same person. And whose fault is that, God? I want the world to end right now. Not before we find mate," Flicker said before blocking me out again. "For a wolf, she has an attitude bigger than herself. Good to know she had her priorities set. Eddie, where is your mate? Asked Jay. I don't know, I said, looking down. What is his name? Carl tried again. I don't know, I replied. The flawed eyes to look interesting at this point. What does he look like? Tyler tried with a smug look that tells that he will get an answer to his question. I don't know, I whispered. Chapter 3. When I finally look at them, they were having difficulty in believing all this. Well, they were not wrong, as I wasn't being any help regarding my mate. How could it be possible that you don't even know what he looks like? Asked Jay. Are you sure your mate is not a ghost? Asked Tyler, wiggling his eyebrow. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Someone, please tell me who made this idiot my gamma. Oh wait, that was me. With that, I got up from my seat and went toward him, and slapped him on the back of his head. No, but was all I could manage before they started looking at me with questioning looks. I took a deep breath and start again. Here's a human. If I thought they were having difficulty in believing me before, now they were in complete disbelief. How could it be possible? Human mates haven't been seen since forever, exclaimed Tyler. I know, and I have only seen him from a distance. That means the only information I have regarding his looks is that he's around 17, 18 and has brown hair. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. So are you going to accept him? Asked Jay. Honestly, accepting or rejecting him hasn't been on my mind. But I'm not going to reject him. If the moon goddess has selected him for me, then who am I to doubt her? How are you going to find him? Asked Kyle. I don't know. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. They were looking at me with pity, and a little bit understanding, as none of them has found their mate. And for a werewolf, mate is a sacred thing. It's your other half after all. They complete you and no one else can make you feel the same way. Finding your mate is like the ultimate goal of a werewolf's life. And yes, we still have to accept them. 'Cause a choice of rejecting your mate is there if you think that Moon Goddess had made a mistake. But very few people use that. 'Cause mates are a one-time thing, and if you reject your mate it feels like the end of the world. As for your wolf, it is. After rejecting your mate you both will feel extreme pain, both mentally and physically, until the other party involved accepts it. They had a very long depression ahead of them after rejecting their mate. Just then my dad entered my office. It better not be that damn announcement now. We need to send the invitation to all the alphas for your coronation ceremony, Dad said without even looking at us. He was doing something on his phone which I am pretty sure is about the ceremony. He wants to announce to the world that he's retiring and I'm taking his place. It's kinda like he wants to show off his children to the rest of the packs. And I have been so excited about it. But right now I'd rather not have it. I send a pleading look to Kyle, to which he nods an understanding dad. We have to postpone the ceremony, said Kyle. Yakov's Eddie needs to find out where her mate is, said Tyler. I swear to God I am going to strangle him someday. Looks like that day will come real soon. What do you mean to find her mate? She can find her mate even after the ceremony. Unless you have already found him, he said, looking at me. Where is he? She doesn't know. Those three idiots said that at some time. Chapter 4. What do you mean she doesn't know? Asked Dad with complete shock on his face. Meaning she knows nothing about her mate, said Tyler. God, he's going to die someday by my hands. Why did he reject you? How dare he reject my daughter? I'm going to kill him. Who is he? Dad said, getting angrier with every passing second. No, Dad, he didn't reject me. And I didn't reject him either. I replied before he could make any more assumptions. Then what's the problem here? Dad asked. At this point, no one spoke anything. We were just looking at each other. Asked Dad. Well, he goes nothing. He is human. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. What? Dad asked. Something about his way of saying this makes me think that if he was drinking something right now, it would feel exactly like a movie where he would have spitted it all out. "You're thinking about this right now?" asked Flicker. "My bad," I replied to her. I look around myself, and there is a very intense discussion on my mate was taking place. And all these questions and worries started giving me a headache. "Guys, I don't want to talk about it right now. I am going for a run to clear my head," I told them before exiting my office. I head toward the woods and take off my clothes. I let Flicker take control and we shift. We start running and everything around starts slowing. I need something to take my mind off the matter of concern. "Eddie, how are we going to find a mate?" Flicker asked with worry. "Or not," I thought. "We'll find him, I promise. What if he rejects us? What if he feels disgusted with us?" asked Flicker. "It won't happen. And if it does happen, then we will let him go. He's a human, so it won't affect him that much." To my agent extraordinaire, Mylen Nilben, hearts out thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. "But what about us? We will have to deal with it. We can't keep him if he doesn't want us. You know, he does have a choice, and it's only made sense that we respect his choice, whatever it may. We would still have each other and the pack. We will manage," I told her, feeling a tear escape her eye. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylen Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She doesn't say anything but stopped near the river and sit down. I know how she feels. We have been waiting to find our mate since our first shift. Mates being human has helped us, as we didn't want an alpha as a mate. They are just too arrogant to take a female lead, but him being human does increase our chances of getting rejected. Chapter 5. I don't know how long I was sitting there, but it started getting dark, so I get up on my paws and went back to where I left my clothes. I shifted back and put on my clothes and started walking toward my house. We have a pack house like other packs, but some people like to live in their own houses. Like me, I have my place, which I currently share with my sometimes irritating brother. I walk past many people on my way back home, and all of them bow down to me, showing respect. I love my pack members. They all accepted my dad's decision of making me alpha instead of my brother without even objecting. And for the last 2 years, I did everything I could do to protect them and make sure they are living well. I went to my house and went to my second favorite place, kitchen. I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything since I found him. I shrugged at that thought and start looking for something to eat, to which there was nothing. I think I need to remind Belle and my cook that I still need food to live. I quickly fixed my sandwich and went to my room. I was just staring at the ceiling when Kyle entered my room. The idiot still hasn't learned how to knock at the damn door. What, no comment? Nothing. He mocked me, trying to lighten my mood. He sighed before sitting next to me and said, "I know it's difficult for you. I know how it feels like to not know where your mate is and what is he doing. But everything will be all right. You guys are meant to be, and you will find your way to each other. How would you know you haven't met yours yet?" I winced. "Doesn't make it easier. I still worry about him," he said. "You know, if you tell Daddy would understand." "Hell, you haven't even told those idiots. You know they will understand you and accept you." I told him, hoping he would believe me this time. "I don't know, I'm just scared that they will start looking me different and they will leave me," he said, looking at his hands. "You know, I have got your back. And if someone says something to you, they have to deal with their alpha, even if it's Dad. And talking of alpha, you shouldn't have stepped aside from your role just because of that. It's not even that big of a deal." I tried to make him believe that no one will leave him. "I won't let that happen. I know you will always be there for you. It's not like you have any other choice." He gave me his signature smirk and continued, "But honestly, I didn't step aside just because I'm gay. It's one of the reasons, but there are other reasons too. I always knew you would be a better leader than me. And you have proved yourself on more than one occasion. You are a wonderful alpha, sister, friend, and I'm sure you will be a wonderful mate too," he said with a grin that speaks confidence. "But what if he doesn't want me? What if he thinks I am a freak?" said Flicker, taking control over our body. I knew she was scared of losing a mate, and I can't say or do anything to make it better. Car notices Flicker's presence and pulls her to a hug and whispers, "No one can resist my sister's charm, and if someone can't see it, then they are an idiot." He kissed my forehead and promised, "Everything will be all right. Flicker, I'm here for you and the whole pack is with you. Soon your mate will be here too. Good night, sis." With that, he left, but his words do their wonder, and Flicker was feeling a little confidence in our situation. "We will find him. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. And he will love us. We will make him fall in love with us," she said while giving me control. "Yes, Flicker, we will. We will start our search tomorrow. Good night." I told her, "It's going to be a long night." Chapter 6. It's really early for me to be in my office, but I couldn't make myself to sleep for more than 3 hours. So I thought, why not finish my work, as I have piles of files waiting for my attention. It's not because I laid back or something. It's simply because my pack is really big, with almost 1,000 people, 897 to be exact. Yeah, we are like a town, so there is a lot of work to do. I can't abandon my pack for any reason, and I would need a lot of free time to find a mate. I mind-linked Jay to meet me in the office. After 20 minutes he walked in. "You are late," I scolded him. "Yeah, 'cause people usually sleep at this time. You know, it's 7 in the morning. By the way, how long have you been here?" he asked, giving me concerned look. "Since 5. But that's not the point. I called you here for work. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." "What work, Eddie?" "I want you to tell Kyle that I will check on the first batch of female warrior." I told him, "Don't you think it's a little early for that? They have been practicing for almost a year, it's more than enough." I counted back. When I could do that without even a proper training, they could do that with a year training. "Your case is different." "Yes, of course my case is different. I didn't have a choice, because all of you guys thought of me as a perfect person to practice everything you learn from your training," I said, looking accusingly at him. "We thought you would be perfect target to boost our ego," he said while looking anywhere but me. Listening this caused Flicker to growl at him. When he heard me growl, he put his hands up in surrender and said, "Hey, but you proved us wrong and beat the shit out of us whenever we tried anything. Which you did many times. Sometimes I wonder why the hell I spend time with you guys," I said, faking to be in deep thinking. "Because you love us," Joe said with smug expression. I rolled my eyes at him and said, "So tell Kylo we'll check their training tomorrow. Oh, I want Tyler to give me stats on patrolling. And I want you to go check on the hotels. I heard something came up there. If I didn't know better, I would have thought that you were trying to free your schedule of a week in a day." But he paused and looked at me. "But I will make sure everything is done. After all, your wish is my command," he said, quickly doing a dramatic bow. "Couldn't Jay stop spending time with Tyler? We cannot handle one more of him," I said as he was exiting the office. Now all I need to do is figure out where to start looking. How difficult could it be to find one person in this big city? "Say that again with a little more confident and I will believe you," said Flicker. "You know it's not that easy, right? What are you taking about finding mate or finding confidence? 'Cause I will kick your ass in either cause. Please tell me, how are you going to do that? We are basically same person, remember? Eden Acres and Black, focus on what's important." She literally screamed my full name in my head, giving me a headache. Rolling my eyes at her, I told her what I was planning to do. We saw him, and I'm also assuming that he must live nearby. I will look in radius of 10 miles. Check in schools or something. And if didn't find him there, I will extend my radius. Flicker chirped in my head. Let's start mission finding mate chapter 7 1 month later. It's been a month and still nothing. I couldn't find him. It's like he never existed. Flicker is getting more and more restless with each passing day. She even stopped talking to me. Only a few words here and there. Dad wants to hold my coronation. He wants to retire officially. After Mom's death. It's been hard for him to stay here. He wants to go on a vacation. I understand the pain of losing your mate is excruciating, even though mine is just mere. To say that last month being tough is wrong, it's been hell. And he weren't sitting in my office trying to concentrate on work. There have been incidents of Rouge entering the pack border that need my immediate attention. So I called Tyler, as he's in charge of patrolling and border security. As I was waiting for Tyler, Dad entered my office. You remember next week we have to go to Alpha Jonathan's pack for a full moon party? Dad said. These kind of parties are there for young wolves, Alpha, Theta and Gamma's kid, to help them find their mate. And many alliances are formed or broken at such party, so they're kind of a big political affair too. But I've already found my mate, and I'm not officially Alpha, so I don't have to go. Right. I look at him expectantly. He sighed and ran a hand through his hair. He's not here with you, and we can't explain his absence because of his being human. Nobody will believe it, and as for being Alpha, it's your responsibility to attend these parties, as many alliances are made there, and they need to know that you can these matters. And he left without giving me any chance to make more excuses. I hate these parties where I have to deal with those brats who think they own the freaking world. I was waiting for the moment I would have a perfect excuse to stop going to them, but guess what, now is not the time, even though I have a valid reason. So you're going to the party? Said Tyler happily. Why is he happy with this situation? Eddie, are you sure you have a mate? It wasn't some sort of confusion. He said like it's good to joke about it. Flicker growled in my head and said I'm going to tell his mate everything. Every fucking thing. Every excruciating detail. How could someone be confused in such matters? And Flicker said she's going to tell your mate everything. I said as a matter of fact. And watched the color drain from his face. Please don't. I'm sorry, Flicker, I take it back. I was just trying to lighten your mood. Please, I'm sorry. He pleaded, Flicker. But she was beyond angry. What's going on, and why is Tyler on knees in front of you? Asked Jay through MindLink as he entered the office. I didn't say anything, just keep looking at Tyler. I feel bad for him, but I can't argue with Flicker, she's hurt. I sighed and said, because some idiot thought it's a great idea to joke about mate, and now Flicker is threatening him that she will tell his mate everything. As I said that, Tyler turns to look at him while giving him his best pleading look. Jay, who was trying to suppress his laughter. Who told you to joke about something like this when you have so many secrets to hide? He said to Tyler, then turned toward me. And Flicker, look, he's forgive him this time, as you know your punishment is too harsh for his mate. The poor Pearl already has the worst luck to be mated with this idiot. Don't make it more difficult for her. By the end of this, Tyler was groaning at Jay, and it was my turn to laugh. You know, half of the secrets are there because of you guys. You tricked me into doing those things. He blamed us while pouting. We indeed let him do those things knowing how bad idea they were, but most of the time they were his ideas. We just never told him how bad they were until it was late. Okay. I won't tell her anything. And I called you here to ask about the border. I told him honestly. Since 2 weeks there hasn't been a single encounter of Rouge entering. And I have doubled the patrolling. He said and left like his pants were on fire. I and Jay were looking at him leave and start laughing. Please have that in mind, that he's still a kid, and have mercy on him. Jay said. I know, but Flicker got angry. Mate is a sensitive topic for her. I explained. He hummed and said, I came here to talk to you about the party. I know you don't want to go, but it's a good opportunity, as Kyle is 24 and still not announced as the next Alpha. Many would try to seal the deal for themselves. But Dad won't agree with them. I said as a matter of fact. I know he won't, but that won't stop them from trying. You should be there to show them that you have the tough enough to lead a pack. I hate to say, but he does have a point. They will try to get my pack as they have done before. And since there will be almost all werewolves leader of the country, it will be a great opportunity to show them that I am the next leader. Chapter 8. It's the day of the party, and since their pack isn't that far from ours, it hardly takes half an hour to reach there. That means I don't have to waste my whole day over a stupid party. I have lots of shit to do. I still have to figure out where the hell is my mate. 'Cause my wolf practically stopped talking to me, and I have to go to a party full of arrogant and self-centered wolves. It's like the whole universe is punishing me for some shit that I did. Controlling my anger is getting difficult with each passing day, but so far I did a great job hiding it, as no one gave me a concerned look or lecture about it. Hey, you should start getting ready. We would be leaving in an hour, said Kyle as he entered my office. Yeah. I was about to get up, I said while closing my laptop. Relax, it won't be that bad. Think about me, lots of girls would be throwing themselves at me thinking that I would be the future Alpha and they can become Luna. And they couldn't be more wrong, he said, trying to lift my mood. But all I could manage was give him a small smile. I'm wearing a very risky dress with a high slit and deep V neck at the front. Let's just say Dad and Kyle are not going to like it. But to me, it's peak sexy, elegance and power. I needed a dress that will capture everyone's attention and yet intimidate them. And with my red hair done in a messy bun, I think I will achieve that. Trace.丨is wearing. Carl told me that we would be leaving in an hour, so my time is almost up. I made my way downstairs and everyone was waiting there for me. As I reached the last stair, all heads snapped to me. I could see different emotions in their eyes and it's almost easy to tell what they're thinking. Like Dad wanting me to change into something else, Carl preparing himself to beat guys who laid their eyes on me, and lastly Jay and Tyler looking at me with awe. Aren't we getting late? Yes, let's go, said Dad before making his way to his car. Aye, Kyle. Jay and Tyler were going in Kyle's car, 1970 Chevrolet S. Yeah, he loves vintage car. Wow, Eddie, I didn't know you could look this good, Tyler exclaimed. Why, thank you, Tyler. I don't even know if it was a compliment or not, I said with a bored tone, and withdraw myself from any further conversation. Entire ride Tyler was talking about the possibility of him finding his mate. The only time he shut up was when entered Alpha Jonathan's pack. We get out of the car and went to Dad, who was already there waiting for us. I swear that man has no idea of how to drive safe or drive his age. None of us could ever dare to tell him that. Imagine someone telling Dad that he's old. The poor soul wouldn't even get the chance to know what hit them. As we entered the hall, every eye was on us. We're from one of the strongest pack in the country. It could be very helpful or dangerous at the same time. Alpha Jonathan and his mate Victoria came to greet us. Alpha's Avia, it's good to see you're here, said Alpha Jonathan. We understand how busy you must be with handling your pack, said Victoria. It is good to see you to Alpha. Look, and know I've got some great help with pack business, Dad proudly said, looking at me, and introduced us. This is my son Kyle, my daughter Eden A, and our beta J and Gamma Tyler. We nod our head as Dad said each of our names. This party is getting on my nerves. It's so damn boring, I groaned internally. I was standing there with the champion in my hand, looking at the people, wishing no one come to talk to me. It's already been torturous enough standing there while Dad introduced me to other alphas and betas, indicating that I'm going to be the leader. Some were considerate enough to acknowledge it, while others not so much. But my peace lasted 10 minutes only, then someone came to me. You look beautiful. Did you fall from heaven, 'cause you look like an angel? Said the guy. Yes, I am the devil, countered back. Wow, and you're smart too. Rare combination. I'm Clay from Stone Pack, he said, offering his hand to shake. I hesitantly shake his hand. Thank you. So I heard you're the daughter of Alpha's Avia. I don't like where it's going. Yes, I am. Your dad hasn't announced your brother as next Alpha. Are you guys waiting for your mate? If he's a strong Alpha, so he could be a better leader for your pack, he asked. When we decide to announce next Alpha, or who we decide is our matter. But I can assure you my mate would have nothing to do with that decision. And if you'd excuse me, I have a brother to get to, I said, barely holding my anger. I get away from him before he could open his stupid mouth again, or I do something I'll regret. Can't we just leave? We've been here for almost 3 hours. And I'm getting more and more pissed with each passing second. I begged Kyle. Yes, this party is boring and it's pretty clear that none of our mates is here. So let's go home. Wind Tyler. Okay, let me just tell Dad, said Kyle. Then he's owned out his mind, linking Dad. After a couple of seconds, Dad said we could go. Thank goodness, 'cause if I had stayed even a minute more, we all would have witnessed a murder. I do feel like killing some brats. Chapter 9, 2 weeks later. It's been 2 damn weeks after that party and there's been a lot of meetings. Many alphas then noticed the shift in power from my father to me. So they came here to discuss the terms of our alliances, since terms need to be changed or revised as the alpha changed. They tried to trick me or challenge my decisions. To say it was frustrating is the least. All the time Dad and the boys sat there with amusement clear on their faces while I counted everything that Alpha threw at me. But they all left impressed, so it wasn't all that bad. And today was the meeting with our last alliance Alpha of Stone Pack. Yup, Clay's pack. He was also impressed and told Dad that he made the right decision. As I left, I turned toward Dad and said, "Thank you, you've been a help." He laughed at my comment and said, "Hey, it was fun watching you give those orthodox sons of bitches run for their money. And you passed all their tests. I'm so proud of you," he said while bringing me a hug. "I have to tell you something. I'm going out for some time." "But you didn't even tell us. When are you leaving?" "I lost Dad today, but I won't be gone for long, maybe a week or two," Dad said and told Kyle to hug and left. "Hey guys, I'm going to the city. I need some me time after this hectic week. I'll be back tonight." "Okay," I told them. "You go. You deserve a break." To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. "That," said Jay. I was driving my car trying to decide where I want to go when I passed a small park. I parked my car and get out. Park was small but beautiful. "It feels good to finally be away from all those things," said Flicker. I haven't talked to her for a long time. She was ignoring me by staying in the back corner of my mind away from reach, and now she decided to show up. "I don't know whether to be happy or angry." "Happy would be better, you know," she said while I was still deciding. "Happy. Happy my ass. You left me alone. I know it was difficult for you, but it was the same for me. If you forget to notice the fact that he's my mate too." I huffed angrily. "I'm sorry, Eddie," she said, but didn't say anything as I didn't respond. I was walking around the park when I saw a bench and decided to sit down. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. "I know you are mad, but would you do something? I'm not feeling good." Flicker told me. "What's wrong?" I asked her. "Don't know, but something is not right." "Okay, we'll go back," I told her and started making my way out. I was going toward the exit when someone caught my attention. We were looking into each other's eyes when I started walking toward him. Flicker was growling in my head, which confused me. Why would she growl at our mate? I was still walking toward him when a girl hugged him from behind. That made him break his eye contact with me and turned to her. I stopped in my track and Flicker was telling me to claw that bitch's dirty paws off our mate. But I was frozen at my place. All I could do was stare at him with disbelief. He looked back at me and whispered something in her ear. She giggled and left. I didn't notice that I was trembling with anger while watching them. And I didn't know when he started walking toward me or when Flicker took control over my body. The next thing I noticed was Flicker putting our mate in the passenger seat of my car. And he was unconscious. "Flicker, what the fuck did you do?" I asked her with disbelief. "I'm not letting him go without giving us a chance," was all she said before she blocked me out. And I watched her start driving back to our pack with our unconscious mate by our side. I can't believe we kidnapped our mate. Chapter 10. When Flicker gave me control back. We were at park border with our unconscious mate in the passenger seat. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. How did I end up in this situation? I wanted to earn his trust. Take things slow and at right time drop the werewolf bomb on him. But seems like that plan has to change. I took a deep breath and pray for blessings, cause the goddess knows how much I need them now. I took a deep breath and start driving. I stopped the car when I reached home. I look around to check if anyone is around. Then I took his arm around my shoulder and took him inside my house. I took him to one of the guest room and laid him down on the bed. I was still kneeling over him. I took my time noticing his features. God, he is so handsome and mine. All mine. Flicker was purring in my head, agreeing with me. I check for his phone and his wallet and take them with me. Wouldn't want him to leave without giving me a chance to explain. I locked the door before exiting the door. "Flicker, what did you do to knock him out?" I asked her, as I have no clue of what happened there. But she ignored me. I looked at his wallet, there were his IDs. So mate's name is Adrian Ocean Whitaker. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He's 19 years old. I need to find out about his family and figure out what to tell them, and what to tell the sleeping beauty upstairs. I was sitting holding my head on the porch when I heard a voice. Hey sis, what you doing? I looked up and said, I saw my mate today. What did you do? He asked cautiously. He's sleeping upstairs. What the hell I'm saying? That's not what I asked. He said and stiffened. What did you do? I kidnapped him, I mumbled under my breath. He started laughing. He was laughing so hard he fell but continued laughing. It's not funny, I glared at him. Oh, it is. Just tell me, was it Flicker? He asked me. How did he know? Flicker asked me. Well, he's our brother, and he knows who's irrational of the two. I told her. Please tell me to what to do. What will I do when he wakes up? I asked Kyle. Let me call Jay, said Kyle, still suppressing his chuckles. And easy as an Adrian's POV, I was waiting for Stacy in the park. I needed to tell her that it's over between us. Well, there was nothing much to begin with, but that was on my side. For her, it was a way to maintain popularity in school. Since I'd ended, I think this should end too. Stacy was a head cheerleader, so it was obvious for her to date one of the players. And I was the co-captain of our school team. But why did I started dating her is something I can't understand. I always wanted something meaningful in a relationship, but I guess I looked it in the wrong person. Don't get me wrong, Stacy an amazing person, she's beautiful and smart, but just not what I wanted. As I was waiting for her, I noticed someone's eyes on me and looked for the person. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. She had an aura of power and authority around her. I was watching her, mesmerized by her beauty, when she started walking toward me. And for the third time, I nervous because of a girl. But she wasn't just another girl, she was special. All my thoughts came to a sudden, and when a small figure hugged me from my back, I knew it was Stacy. I turned to her, and she gave me her signature smile. You wanted to see me. What do you want to talk about, baby? She said, making her voice seductive. It would have worked any other time, but today it reminded me of that beauty who was coming to me. I looked at her, and she was standing there like deer in the headlights. I needed to go there, and for some reason, I feel the need to explain everything to her. But first I have to get rid of Stacy. Well, that's way too harsh than I intended it to be. But the only thing that matters right now is her. I whispered in Stacy's ear to wait for me in her car. She thought of it as messages for something else and left giggling. I ignored that and walked toward that mysterious girl who was hyperventilating there. I feel concerned for her like I've known her my entire life. Then all of a sudden her eyes became darker and she starts walking to me. And everything turned to darkness. I woke up with a slight headache. I noticed that I was in bed that is way too comfortable to be mine. As the sun was setting, there was still a little light in the room to see. I struggled in finding the light switch and turned it on. How the hell did I end up here? It's getting late, I need to go home or Mom will kill me. I looked in my pocket, but I couldn't find my phone or my wallet. My wallet has my IDs. I can't just lose them. But there has to be some logical explanation for all this. Maybe I fainted. Yeah, I guess I fainted, and that beautiful girl from the park helped me and somehow brought me here. Wherever he is, I bet there is a perfectly logical explanation what happened. Okay. Adrian, stops panicking. Stop panicking. Just go find her or whoever brought you here and ask for your stuff and leave. I tried opening the gate, but it was locked. Shit. Maybe it's time to start panicking. I took a deep breath and called. Hello. I need to leave. Can you please open the door? Chapter 11, Ed and May's POV. Carl called Jay to help us, or more specifically me. It's going to be bad when Tidal will hear all this. Jay I can handle, but Tidal or worse, Dad. I don't even want to think about this. How am I going to deal with all this? Damn you, Flicker, you made a huge mess this time. Jay came running to us. It took him less than 3 minutes to get here. I love this guy. I should give him a raise or something. What happens? Jay asked us. Carl nodded toward me, and Jay turned to me and said, What did you do this time? I didn't do anything. This time it was all Flicker. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Okay, so what did she do? Jay asked more slowly this time, like he's talking to a kid. Flicker, we brought our mate here, and he's in one of the guest room. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Brought Eddie. Are you sure brought is the right word? Kyle asked. Kidnapped, I murmured. Wow, I never thought you had this in you. I mean, I could imagine Tyler doing this, but you surprised me. Jay mocked me. If you're done with your mockery, then help me. I don't know what to do. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. What do you want to do? It's all up to you. You're the boss, remember? Jay said. He's right though. It's me who has to decide. And for once in my life, I would love for someone else to take lead. Here, take this. It's his phone and it's. Find out everything about him and his family. I also need a good lie to tell his family, explaining his temporary disappearance. I told Jay. Temporary? Kyle asked. Yeah. I don't want to rip him from his family. Just want him to be part of mine. I confessed. Kyle opened his mouth to say something else, but we heard something or something inside the house saying, Hello. I need to leave. Can you please open the door? Yes, here's your clue to leave. Don't worry, you have everything on him till morning. Jay said, and leave. Good luck, sis, said Kyle while hugging me. I am standing outside the door. The door that separates me from my mate. Speaking of mate, Flicker is hiding in my head. Head-like hiding is going to make things better. Goddess knows what she did there. Take a deep breath and let's get through this mess. I retold this in my head like a mantra. I opened the door and there he was sitting on the bed. My no-line. He was looking at the window, but as the door opened, he started looking toward the gate until his eyes landed on me. Hi, he said nervously. Is he nervous because he's kidnapped or he's feeling the same thing as me? Or a bit of both? Hey, I said, smiling sweetly. Can you please tell me what happened, cause I'm having a hard time remembering anything. He's still nervous. And all I want to do is hold him and never let go. But that has to wait, yes. You fainted and since I didn't know where you live, so I brought you here. It's my place. By the way, I'm eating it, I said, extending my hand hoping he would take it. He had a firm shake, which means he has strong personality. His touch was sending sparks through me. I wonder if he could feel the same. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Adrian Whitaker, thanks for helping me, but it's getting late. My mom would be worried and I don't want to trouble you more, he said, still holding my hand. Not that I'm complaining. No, not at all. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I live out of the city and it's dark now. These woods are not safe at night, so I would advise you to stay here for the night. You can go in the morning, I said, with the last part coming out more as lie than I intended it to be. I don't know. I don't want to trouble you and your family. It would be my pleasure to have you here. As for my family, I live here with my elder brother and he would be fine, I said, looking into his eyes. Okay, if you say so. Where is my phone? He asked and noticed our hands and let go. Now that is a difficult one. I don't know where your phone is. Maybe it fell in the park. I tried sounding believable. We've talked for some time. Little things about each other cause bigger things are scarier and more complicated, at least mine are. I mind-linked Bella to bring our dinner. He told me about his family. He lives with his mother and 2 younger sisters. His mother works hard to make a living for them, and he decided to not go to college to support his family. If I wasn't feeling guilty before, I feel devastated now. I told him about my family. I told him that my father was the leader of our community and when retired I took his place. And because of that leader work, I couldn't complete my school. I thought he would judge me for that, but he simply smiled and said that he understood. We ate dinner together and bid farewell for the night. I left the room. but couldn't make myself go on my own. I wanted to stay with him. I know that would be pushing my luck. As I stood outside, I contemplated whether to lock the door or not. He could still leave, but he won't be one he wants to. I stood there as his breathing became even indicating that he had fallen asleep. That's when I started going back to my room. I need to figure out what I'm going to tell him, or what I'm going to tell his family, 'cause I know how it feels like to be taking care of your family. I know he won't be happy unless they have some kind of support. And I won't be happy to. Chapter 12. I couldn't sleep all night. I was so scared of everything, from not being able to explain everything correctly to him to losing him, and was not even getting a chance to explain myself. I need to figure something out before it's too late. And I want to help his family whether he wants to stay or not. It's been 2 hours. 2 hours of just tossing and turning in bed with no trace of sleep in my eyes. I can't take it anymore. Any other night I would have taken this opportunity to read some book, but not tonight. Tonight I have to do something far more important. I picked up my laptop and start looking for Adrian on social media. He must have an account. If you say that everyone has accounts on social media, not me. I didn't have time to do anything remotely personal in past 2 years. The only reason I still have friends is that I only had boys with me since growing up. I found his profile. God, he's famous. Not that I'm surprised or anything, of course. He was in the team. He bound to have many friends. Many girlfriends. I completely forgot to ask him about that. That girl. I hope she's not something serious. Let's check his relationship status. Yes, I'm stalking him, but it's different. He's about her. I don't know what to do now. What do you mean? He's our mate. She can't have him. Flicker growled at me. Yes, he's our mate. But he's not our property. We can't just claim him. I silently reasoned with her. Why can't we claim him as ours? Isn't it what people supposed to do when they find their mate? She argued back. We don't even know what it's like for him. If he feels the pull or not. What mate bond is for him. And if he didn't feel anything for us, then what's the point of any of this? I said, hoping I'm wrong. So we will just watch him leave. Leave to that bitch while we stay here alone. Forever alone. Flicker whispered. I can feel tears falling from my eyes. I can't bear the thought of my mate loving someone else, but I won't force this bond on him. If he didn't feel the pull, it's not his fault, then why would he suffer for this? Don't worry, Flicker. I'm still going to talk to him about everything. But it would be his choice whether we get a chance or not. I assured her. But she blocked me out and went in a deep corner of my head. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Hearts out thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I still need to find a way to help his family. I have been sitting in the kitchen. I got hungry while thinking the whole night. Well, technically it's still night as it's for Anne. Are you sleeping? Jay mind linked me. Yes, Jay, I'm sleeping. I replied sarcastically. Hey, why no need to be rude? I stayed up all night just to find all the information about your mate. And I also had to hide from Tyler. Sorry, Dad. You know I love you. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Hearts out thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Yes, I know, he said, rolling his eyes at me as he was standing in front of me. How did you get in? I asked him. You gave me the key. Years ago, he said, and sat down on the stool next to mine. How long have you been up? All night. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Hearts out thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Figured your reflexes aren't that sharp, he said, amused with himself. I growled at him and showed me a file. Here's everything I could find on your mate. He lives with his mother and 2 sisters. No father in the picture. He died 10 years ago. Since then his mother has to work a double shift and your mate has to take responsibility for taking care of his younger sisters who were 5 and 2 years old at that time. He's in his school team and from an outside view. He's your typical jock. But he's smart and they store his classes and most importantly never been a bully. Jay told me, but I knew he was holding something back. So I asked, what is I? TJ. He's been in a relationship with head cheerleader Stacy McCall for almost 2 years. He sighed, looking at me with concern. I already knew it, I said, looking at my hands. Thankfully Jay didn't say anything after that, just hugged me. So what could we do for his family? I asked, taking a deep breath to calm my nerves. As his father died in a car accident, hit and run specifically, and they didn't catch the driver. We send some money as an anonymous donor on monthly basis. It would appear that driver is feeling remorse for his actions, he suggested. It's a good idea, but how would they connect it with that accident? It's been old news. It happened 10 years ago. Yesterday was his father's death anniversary, so I send an amount of $10,000 account in a bouquet to his father's grave. Thank you. You, Jay. What would I do without you? I said with tear-filled eyes. You'll fail and might even go crazy handling your brother and Tyler alone. Jay left after an hour. He did a great job. He gathered all the information and he did come up with a great idea regarding money. Now I can continue sending them help, even if he decided he didn't want to see me ever again. Don't tell me you've been up all night, said Kyle as he entered the kitchen. Okay, I won't tell you. What are you doing this early, by the way? I asked him, diverting his attention from me. You know, I'm a head warrior. I have to train warriors and my training routine usually starts in the morning. Haven't you noticed this before? He asked, looking at me like I'm an idiot. Maybe I am. No, I didn't know this. I always think of you as someone who wakes up at 11 or even late. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. You hurt my feelings, sister, he said, faking hurt by putting a hand on his chest. I just rolled my eyes at his childish behavior. Don't you think that I don't know what you are doing? You might be alpha of the pack, but to me, you're still my baby sister. And I know when you spend a sleepless night, he said, this time looking hurt. I know you care about me and want to protect me from this big bad world. But there are some things that no one can control. I'll be fine. Don't worry, I said, hugging him. Now go train your warriors, I said as I pulled away from him. He kissed me on my forehead and left. I know you felt protective for, and it's not just him. Jay and Tyler are the same. They could tease me, irritate the hell out of me, but no one else can even raise a finger toward me or they were to face the wrath of my boys. That's why I don't want Tyler to know he takes things to whole another level. And Dad is far worse. He never let any guy look at me in my whole life. That's one of the reasons why I didn't have any other friend. He could lock me in a tower to keep me safe from boys. It's like I could be part of the war, but I can't go on a date. I must be thinking for a long time as the next thing I know my trance is broken by a voice. Good morning. Chapter 13. My trance was broken by someone saying, Good morning. I must be thinking deeply for not noticing this breathtaking smell. Or maybe Jay was right, I'm not that sharp right now. I turn to him and greet him and ask him, How was your night? Did you sleep well? Yes, he replied with a smile on his face. I could do anything to keep that smile on his face. I zoned out again. I seem to be doing that a lot lately, but this time brought back by Bella. Well, actually by the sound of her cooking. When did she come here? She greets me. Morning, Al. Ma'am. She recovered when I gave her a pointed look, while Adrian was looking at us confused. Well, Adrian, this is Bella. My cook who make great food, and Bella, this is my friend Adrian. I introduced them, trying to make it less awkward, to which I did a great job. They just looked at each other and then at me. Wow, this is going great. Adrian, let's go sit there. I want to talk to you about something, I said, taking his hand and leading him to the living room. I sat down on the couch and he did the same, but leaving a little space between us, but it was a bigger space for my head. We just sat there for a while, without saying anything. You know, there's some type of silence which are comfortable. Well, it wasn't one of that. It was awkward. It was like we both wanted to say something but not saying. He decided to break the silence and said, I don't know why I feel the need to explain. Please don't think of me as some weirdo. I just want to explain this to you. I nodded in understanding, and for him to continue, which he did after taking a deep breath. You remember the girl I just heard that and I zoned out? Oh my God, he's going to tell me off. He's going to tell me that he has a girlfriend and he loves her. I'm not panicking. I'm not. I wanted to break up with her yesterday before I fainted. He said the last part slowly and looking at me like he wanted to see how I would react. I think I did well cause he relaxed while looking at me, and feel like there's a firework going inside me. I feel so relieved. But not for long, as now it's my turn to speak. He was waiting for me to say something. Okay, I can do this. Do you believe in a soulmate? I asked him cautiously. I have never thought about it. He replied honestly. Well, my people, I mean the community or tribe would be a better word. We believe that each one of us has a soulmate. Our other half. I told him, looking for any reaction. Okay, but why are you telling me this? He asked, being genuinely confused. Because you are mine. I mean, you are my soulmate. I told him. What? How? Why do you think that? He asked with disbelief written all over his face. And I know I shouldn't jump to a conclusion, but I couldn't stop myself from feeling rejected. It's not just who's feeling this way. Flicker is also whimpering in my head. Yet how few signs that help us identify our mate, like when you look at them your whole world stops and starts revolving around them. You feel a connection with them, like you have known them all your life. They become the reason for your existence. I told him though I can't tell him about the smell, I could tell him about something else that might make him believe more. So I placed my hand on his palms and said, and you feel sparks whenever and wherever you touch them. Minutes passed and nothing happens. He didn't say anything or reacted in any way. I can't tell what he's thinking, how he's taking all this, and the suspense was driving me crazy. I was looking at him to give me some clue, but his face was blank. Then he said, "Is that why I'm here?" "Yes," I whispered slowly. "So you mean to say that you and your people believe in soulmates, and by some weird logic I'm your soulmate? But what does that mean for me? Can I leave if I want? Or is that choice is taken from me?" He said, running a hand through his hair. I can tell he's frustrated, and I don't blame him. This is too much to take. But still, his wanting to leave is breaking my heart. You can leave when you want. I'm not stopping you. I just wanted to tell you this. I told him, trying to keep my composure. What would it mean for you? Would you get another soulmate? He said while putting venom on word soulmate. No, that's not how this works. I won't get another soulmate. You just find one in your life, and I already found one. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylan Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unsaying patience, enthusiasm. And still you're willing to let me walk out of the door. You won't come back changing your mind. He asked me as if he is testing my words are true. No, I won't change my mind. But I closed my eyes and continue. But you have to reject me first. Then you're free to go anywhere. Reject you how? Just say my name and that you reject me as your soulmate. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylan Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I was just a second away from falling apart. I know I didn't tell him about the pain that will follow his rejection, but he didn't need to know. It's my problem and I will deal with it. I know for sure that he won't be affected, as he's the one who's rejecting and he is human. Bond is not that strong for him. It can't be for him to even consider rejecting his mate. I didn't want to stay here waiting for this. I will wait for it to end before falling apart. I watch him thinking deeply, taking every little detail of him. What would happen after I reject you? What would it mean for you? Will your people not try to stop me from rejecting their leader? He asked me curiously. It will break our bond, and as I feel the bond more than you do, I will feel it break. And no one will try to stop you, or else they have to answer me. Trust me, they wouldn't want that. I told him, this time looking anywhere but him. Okay, I've made my decision. And I decided that. Chapter 14, Adrian's POV. All this soulmate stuff was messing with my head. How could this be real? How could they believe this? I mean, this could have been true, Dick. It just sounded like an old legend. And my soulmate is this beautiful girl who has the respect of her people, as I can see it in that small interaction. It was like that lady worship her. She must be good at her work to achieve that. Looking around her place, I can tell that she's loaded. Then why would she be interested in someone like me? I mean, I'm not putting myself down or something, but she's way out of my league. What she's saying can't be true. It doesn't make any sense. Yet I know she is telling the truth cause I feel the same way. I even feel that sparks and I thought that I was going crazy. I can't say yes, I have responsibilities of my own. I have to take care of my family, but I think she understands that. I don't know what to do. Why do I even decide yet? I thought I would have a lifetime before I have taken such a decision. If this mate thing is that serious for her, doesn't that mean she won't have anyone else even if I reject her? Then how could she let me go? I know won't do that. I don't want to reject her though, I don't think I know what it exactly means. But it does sound cruel. Why do I have to decide? Okay. I've made my decision. And I decided that I want to give us a chance before deciding anything. I finally told her and watch relief fill her body and watch her relax. I can't help but feel guilty. I was responsible for making her feel this way. Maybe my guilt or maybe the bond made me hug her, but I was glad that I did when I felt her melt in my arms. Holding her feels so right. Maybe it was just me wanting to comfort her. We were standing there for a while and I'm not complaining, I could do this for my whole life. But like every good thing, this came to end when a guy cleared his throat to get our attention. He was sending daggers with his eyes towards me. Adrian, this is my elder brother Kyle, and Kyle, this is Adrian. She introduced us. Oh, now it makes sense, same hair color and daggers, of course he is her brother. Ed and I all just keep staring at each other like having a conversation in their head. Then he left without even looking at me twice. Okay. That went smooth. Let's go have breakfast. It must be ready by now, she said, trying to save the moment, though she didn't need to. I also have two sisters, so I understand what her brother feels. We went to the dining area. Kyle was already sitting there. Ed and A sat on the head chair and Kyle was sitting at other ends, so I end up sitting next to Ed and A. Not that I'm complaining. The lady who was cooking started serving us, and we started eating without saying anything to anyone. This was awkward. I could still feel daggers being thrown at my way, but I chose to ignore them. Just then two guys entered the room and sat there like they owned the place. Maybe they did, but she told me that only her brother and she lives here. The one guy with glasses looks at me with sympathy, but the other guy, he was looking at me with emotion I can only decipher as hatred. Is he her boyfriend? No, that can be possible. I might be looking tense, so she put a hand on mine to calm me down before start talking. Guys, this is Adrian and Adrian, this is Jay and this Tyler, while pointing at each one of them. And they are mine and Kyle's best friend. We are more like family and they care about me like their sister. And can be a complete ass sometimes. Hey, said the one whose name I think is Tyler before smacking her at the back of the head. I could feel the anger burning in me. How dare he? But before I could react, she stood up. Tyler and Kyle, I need to talk to you guys, she said to them, but none of them reacted. Now she said again, but this time with authority that they can't ignore. 3 of them left the room. Don't worry about them. We all just care about her way too much. In our group of 4, she's the only girl. She knows how to rule us and we just have an instinct to protect her even if she didn't need that. But don't worry, they will come around, Jay assured me. I just nodded in reply and kept my focus on my plate. She's been gone for a long. When will she be back? And I was thinking of leaving this girl. How was I going to manage that since I can't stay away from her for a couple of seconds? When did I fall this deep?